Yeah, there's only one
I
out.
think so, right?
Yeah, it's full on both sides. The groups, there's a 8 on the right side and 9 on the left. Let's grab a seat.
Alright, so what happened with the water on the floor?
The water over next to the bucket?
Yeah.
Well, I just mopped it a little late because I couldn't get water in my bucket until, so by the time I finished mopping it, the store was pretty much open. Or I was working on, there's some areas that were still a little wet, because I've probably gone over it one more time with them.
So
I was surprised it's still wet, honestly. I left a little too much when I was going with the, doodle bug.
So the thing is, with water on the floor, it's a big safety thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know Chantel had mentioned that to you already, that she'd come by. You can't throw water down on a big old wide area and work it a little bit at a time. That's safety. Like the associates are stepping over that, the store's close to opening, customers in there, if it's not completely dry, you gotta work it a chunk, dry it up. That's why I told you, like, I wring the crap out of that mop so it's dry. So I'm picking it up, bring it. I don't even dip it in the water most of the time if I'm doing scrubs, so that it doesn't get soaked, so I can pick up as much water as I can, and then you can swing cones at it and dry it.
Yeah.
But for safety and compliance reasons, we cannot have that much water on the floor, especially if it's on the other side of an obstacle. Like you're on one side of the bunker and you lay down water on the other side. Someone walks and slips on that. Camera, boom. Oh, he put that water down.
Yeah.
There's no cones. You cannot be putting that much stuff down. It's
I didn't
big
expect
safety and compliance.
3 or 4 stalkers to appear out of nowhere in that corner. I was trying to make my way around the bunker and kind of knock it out because it was the last one I had to do.
Right, but my point is, it's the way that you went about doing it is actually big trouble.
Yeah.
It's that much water on the floor. It's the same as when there's a spill, we got to respond to it and pick it up immediately. You basically made a spill that you then quote unquote ignored by putting water on the floor and then stepping away from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was wet, but I wouldn't say it was a puddle. It wasn't like the one 10, 12 feet away in the inside of the cooler. That one was puddle.
Well, the one in the cooler was melting ice, and there's
the cold area of the store too probably just wasn't evaporating.
No. Well, the one in the cooler is an entirely different thing, but I'm talking about the water that you put down on the floor to clean, that you had stepped away from. And then especially not having it up, not having it dry, you can't dry that big an area. It's a safety concern, and that's part of the training that had gone on. Because it is a compliance issue, this conversation does have to be a disciplinary action, or a coaching as we used to call them. I remember I mentioned this to you before when we talked about the meal thing, but it starts at yellow, it goes to orange, it goes to red. So this is a yellow conversation that escalates there because it is safety and compliance, and safety and compliance is a big deal. You cannot have that much water on the floor. You cannot put down more than you can pick up or clean up, and you definitely can't put down water and then away from it, because now you've created an unintended spill. Does that make sense?
It's still there, but you know what I mean. I didn't leave
From
it.
here for a spill, that's not there. Do you know what I'm saying? And especially if there's an obstacle between me and that. So if you can't even see it, and then someone walks by, you can't tell how close, how far they slip on it, it's water that you put down. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But it's still residual. It wasn't like, I wasn't like doodled and then walked away and left a doodle bug puddle. That'd be a whole different story.
Well, so it was...
Because there was a lot of water before that. It just wasn't evaporating. And I had one cone down on the other side of the bunker, but I didn't have one down on the side where, like, I ended up five other associates out of nowhere.
Right, but okay, so the other associates aren't the issue. The problem is having that water down and not picking it up. We're supposed to be keeping the floor dry, clean, and safe. So you can't put water down all around the perimeter of a bunker and just be working on this corner. Why is that water down there? Hazard. Because you're not even working over there, you're working over here. Even if it is just a 15-foot bunker. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was trying to keep it from being too far out from the bunkers, but
Right, but it
couple
doesn't
areas
matter.
where
It doesn't matter because you can't have
see
that
where I
on the floor.
moved the where I moved the doodle bug from the bucket to the ground. There was those trails.
Okay.
Those trails kind of created where it was like a big mess away from the bunker. So that's where there was like a lot. But you know, I'm trying to learn to be more controlled with the doodle bug. Bring the bucket with me so I don't have to actually swing it around and, you know, move the water around much.
So it feels like you're kind of missing the point. You can't have that much water down.
You think I don't hear you? I hear you. I don't need to hear it 50
see,
times.
But
I'm not that
because what
stupid.
you keep doing is you're trying to like justify what you did.
It's an explanation. It's not an excuse.
But the explanation
I was
doesn't
there.
matter because we cannot do that. I've told you, made it clear we cannot do that. So the explanation is no longer relevant. That cannot happen going forward. Okay? Does that make sense?
So I dried it up with a dust mop to get it up really quick.
No, that just
So I don't
ruins
have
the
to
dust
do that
mops.
again. Yeah, I know.
You only put down water in that small area. You mop it, you can dry it, we'll swing cones at it. If you got a blower, you can blow it. But you move on once it's dry. You cannot leave, especially standing water that, like, I'm going to get to that in a minute. You can't just layer a whole run of water and then work it a little at a time. You're generating spills and you're generating safety hazards. And if someone slips and gets hurt on that, not only are you held accountable as the one responsible, but now that person is possibly losing money. Their time out of work, so they aren't here to do their jobs, and everyone else has to pick up that slack. And then on top of that being an incident, it costs the store a ton of money in all the legal and liability and all that stuff as well. So it is a very big and serious issue.
I'll
And
clean one side of the bunker at a time from now on.
It's not just a side of the bunker, it's whatever is within that reaching spot. Like if I was doing this wall, I would put down enough water to get to like there that I can all reach it. I'm within standing distance of it, and then mop it up, dry it, and then move on to the next. It's not about the side of the bunker. It's about what is within your area of like control. You'd be like, oh, watch your step. You can't watch your step like 50 feet away. They ain't gonna hear you. They ain't gonna listen, or they may not react in time. It's about maintaining positive control of a potential hazard, because you have to mop the floor and create a mini hazard, but you have to maintain spatial control over it.
Yeah, which I was doing one bunker at a time. I'm gonna do one side of a bunker at a time, because I would finish one bunker and then I'd wet the edges of the next one. I wouldn't even leave the past bunker wet, so that'd be like extreme opposite. But yeah, no, that's what it was.
So you have any questions about any of that?
No, I'm very familiar with that. Like I said, I've witnessed people almost slipping like 10, 15 years ago on previous jobs. I know not to leave a puddle on the ground. But when Sandy had seen it, it was residue and it just wasn't evaporating. I'm pretty sure. I thought it had evaporated like 10 minutes prior, but it just wasn't evaporating because of where it was located, because it was like in the very back corner. That's the coolest area, that area of the store. But I did wring out the mop twice and go over those, or 2 or 3 times and go over those areas, and it was still, just staying wet. So.
That's why I said you got to wring the crap out of it. It's as dry as possible, and that way it leaves as little, and then it'll dry. And like I said, you can wave it on the cones. That's a little trick we do to get it done a little bit faster. But it's not just customer safety; it's associate safety too. So it's not like it's not the Wild West, and then the store's open. Like these associates, they can be not paying attention and stuff like that too, just like everyone else. So it's an at all times thing. If there's any kind of liquid on the floor, we're working on getting it off the floor, not putting it down more. Chantel, do you have anything to add or no?
So from the last conversation that me and Steve had with you, do you think you're getting better? Do you think you're progressing, or you're the same?
I did everything I was supposed to do today. I was hitting I was getting a little mixed up on the last time you were saying, last time they hit like that whole wall and all that, and I was like, I couldn't even get around to doing like the walls. But I started working on those today, and he caught me and was like, don't work on that. I wasn't sure it's the same assembly as a bunker. It's just like one side. It isn't a whole square or rectangle. So I kind of started working on that, but I cut that, and I ended up getting through pretty much everything he gave me. I'm sort of grunting. I don't want to crouch anymore today.
So from a 1 to 10, and 10 being the best you can be, what number you think you ever know?
what?
1 to 10, what are you?
I'm exerted. I've used up all my calories today, and I'm beat.
So with that being said,
And I got through everything.
I'm on 10 every day.
That's
Work,
what I do.
we hustle, we like at the end of the day, we're all replaceable. It's a job. So by you saying you're tired, we all, cause you say that every time. You always say I'm
That's
tired, I'm
okay,
sweating, my back hurt. We all is.
Yeah,
At
but
the
it's
end of
not.
the day, it's a job.
It's not even explanations at that point. I'm not excusing. I'm not explaining. That's just a reality. Is I'm exerting myself for a company, and they're paying me to be part of that machine, and I'm doing it. And I know I'm exerting myself. I'm sore and tired at the end of every day. As far as
So with that being said,
I mean, when you guys hired me, I was already hustling. I've been hustling since you guys hired me. The thing about me being on my phone was
that's old news.
yeah. So what else was there? It was not getting everything under the shelves. I started crawling on my belly to get everything under the shelves, and you guys moved me to a different area, and now I'm doing this, and I'm trying to get everything that's on my plate done by the end of the day in the right order, so that it's all to spec. You know, I got sugar and flour done. That was a little messy because it's been 2-3 days since it's been done, obviously. I greased all the stack bases. I'm checking up on all the signs. I'm moving the magnets so that they're, it's aligned correctly on all sides. I greased every single one of the bunkers. Made sure to get around to that. Make sure there was no like diagonal streaks. Like it's like a nice straight line down all sides. No fingerprints. Got the rails. Boom. Got those cleaned off like where you had me do the eggs. I made sure all 3 sides of that rail are nice and clean. I feel for the residue. I feel for it. I get it out. There's like nothing on there. 3 or 4 pieces of gum under the rails, things like that. And then like residue, I made sure to go around and find like every little tiny bit of anything you guys could even find, because like that black tape, I didn't even start noticing the black tape because I'm noticing these other tapes, and then I start noticing the black tape and I start getting it for like every one of my bunkers. Like I keep an eye out for that kind of thing. I know I've missed that before, but still there's so much to catch. Now the bunkers are pretty polished, if you ask me. I think they're really good. I think the ground around them's solid. I think the rails are solid. I think all the signs I've touched, I've dust the front, back, every little ledge on that sign, even take it off the hooks so I can get where the hooks are, so that dust isn't there. Make sure all this. I mean, I'm trying to do as much as I can. I stack to the sky, but it's like I gotta make sure I can do everything. So I just gotta be bite size.
Okay, like I was saying, so everything you just explained to me, that's part of your job description. So what you're doing is fine, yes, but you're still not where we need you to be. So you're specifically for detail. And just like you said, it's nitpicking. It's not just sweeping and mopping and moving on. You're literally detailing and nitpicking everything, and we still getting caught out to the day. We're still getting caught out.
Really? Have you? Because you checked over those bunkers before I even got them like polished. I got them like clean, got the ground clean, and then you kind of walk through. But like if you go over and look at them now, they're like I would love I'd love Sandy to try to find something wrong with them.
Give me 1 second.
I'd like to see all these little errors.
I'm gonna tell you.
Wait, stay right there. Don't say nothing.
Because now you guys show me screenshots, or you show me the pictures of different things, I'm like, yeah, but that's like 2 things on a lot of ground. And like, I mean, I come in here and find a million flaws in this room. It needs to be cleaned in here bad.
Yes, it does.
There's dirt on the wall right there. I was cleaning that. I would dust up in the corners. I would make sure the dust got off the top of that mirror, off the top of the door, off the top of that. All the dust that people don't even think about. That needs to be clean. Like this whole room needs to be clean. Like, and I would put me in it. I would clean it. So I'm sure the sprinkler guys were in that sprinkler room, and they're like, I'm sure they wouldn't have said anything about being dirty. Also, I do housekeeping. This is like what I do. I'm a detail cleaner. Stacking a lot of tasks that need to be done or whatever, certain things that are a little bit trickier, like greasing the stack bases. That's difficult because I have to basically crouch walk around each one of those pallets. Crouch walking can take the calories out of anyone. I'm probably the only one in the store crouch walking around. That's when my thighs hurt. And said, every time I stand up, I feel more and more like exerted for the day. To where, you know, if I've done 100 squats, I don't know how much else I could be exerting myself for the company. Being like locked in, like out of my mind, just hammering through tasks like a robot. That isn't hard work either. Good balance. So mental health, obviously a big thing for me. Threshold. I'm also, I don't know how many trans women you have in the store, but that definitely is a factor. Because I got 1/10 the testosterone of any dude in the store. So I don't hustle the same.
So I just talked to my store manager, and like I said before, we specifically hired you for detail. Like, no more maintenance, you specifically detail. And if we keep getting caught out, and then if you keep not progressing like we need you to be, it will be another accountability. Like, I'm tired of having conversations. We're gonna have no more come in the office. At the end of the day, this is a yellow. Next time it's an orange, and next time it's a red. After a red, it's termination. So I don't know what you gotta do to make sure that you
But the
get
yellow
better.
was for leaving puddles, safety
Yes.
concerns. That wasn't a productivity thing, right?
No, that's not productivity. So that's compliance. So that one, we have to, because anyone could have got hurt. Because I was more concerned about the associates, but I was more concerned about the customers. But Sandy's more concerned about the associates. At the end of the day, everybody is at risk. Like, we cannot have no more accidents. That's what's costing us money right now. So, far as Steve with productivity, I don't know nothing about this. I'm in here for the puddles.
Mhm.
Like, we can't have that no more. But moving forward, there's going to be no more coming in the office unless it's going to be a coaching. There's no more talks. Because I feel like whatever me and Steve is telling you is going above your head, and you're like fighting us on it. We're just trying to make you improve. We're just trying to tell you what we need you to do to improve, because we don't want to fire you. We don't, because we need you here. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep fighting an associate about his productivity. I'm not going to keep doing it. And
Just
the
come
fact
and
that you
interact
call
with
me
me.
a liar, like, I'm done from that point. When you called me a liar, you pretty much telling me my integrity is on the floor. So,
No.
yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
did.
call you a liar. It's
Did he
more
call me a
the
liar?
lie itself, not you.
No, you call me
Because I
liar.
feel like
You say
something
you
was
are
asserted
lying.
and it was just floating in the air, and no matter what I say about it, you just get hammered over the head more and more and more.
See, right now I still can't even talk. Like, you talking over me. The open doors for us to talk over what's going on. And if you don't allow us to talk, how are we getting
But the
into you?
productivity thing, it's a big thing to just. I'm not gonna let that go over my head. That's why I keep catching it and responding to
can't
it. I'm
keep-
not an unproductive. I'm not a bad worker. I'm not a slow worker. I'm not an unfocused worker. I'm not an undetailed
You
worker.
are a slow worker.
No, I'm not.
You're a slow worker.
I'm moving.
I'm not talking about from Steve. From me, what I see.
What do you
are a slow
expect?
worker.
I'm not a slow worker.
Okay.
Like I said, you're dealing with a unique individual.
But that's what you feel.
Because
And I'm telling you,
different
as a
people move at
manager,
different speeds, and I see. All right, are you comparing me to which class of associates?
I don't compare associates. I don't do that. I just told you from what I see. I said not from what Steve sees, from what Chantel sees. What I need an associate to do to get the store clean, you're not.
But I know my body better than you can even possibly know my body, especially because I've been medicating for 3+ years. I don't have the same hormonal balance as anyone else in the store. I have a different body. I know it better than anybody. I'm not gonna let anybody else take my body and work it against my will how it's not meant to be worked. So this whole, I'm not moving fast enough. It has to be gauged. Like you have to measure it.
Conversation's over.
Because I sweat. I'm not gonna work so
I'm
fast
gonna-
that I make
so,
mistakes.
Christian,
I learned that in multiple jobs. You don't work so fast you start making mistakes, and don't let your bosses tell you to work so fast you start making mistakes. When I start making mistakes, it defeats the purpose. That's bounce. Put a momentum so that I can catch the mistakes I'm making, especially green light errors and things like that.
So once again, if you're gonna try and filibuster us when we're trying to communicate with you, then the door's right there.
You guys only have one thing to say, and nothing else to say.
There's
no
one
dialogue.
thing that we constantly
Yeah, but there's
get in trouble
no
for.
dialogue because the back and forth and the feedback, it's all just like we tell you what's up and you're just supposed to take it. And there's no feedback because anything you do is an
Just go.
excuse. Because I don't want to change. I don't want to be a good worker, right? Ridiculous. Every day, man. that nonstop, this like textbook harassment. Just poking at me, telling me how hard I work every day, no matter how hard I work. And every time I talk, they tell me I'm just like making excuses. Okay? Well, they just want me to leave this place in a bad situation so I really can hear what poking If I can leave this place without shaking for one day, piss me off. Single day. You're just not listening. You just don't listen. You're just a big stupid kid. You just don't listen. You just told listen. Programmable robots. That's what we are.